I wish to thank you, first and foremost, everyone, for honoring our invitation to this special African Union Nutrition Champion Special event. That Your Excellencies prioritize attending this event is a great development for Africa. I wish to first and foremost thank His Majesty, King, let's say, the third of Lesotho, for hosting this event as the African Union Champion for Nutrition. His Majesty has provided exceptional leadership in convening African heads of state and governments to rally around tackling malnutrition in Africa. Please let's give it to him. He's doing an incredible job in this. The African Leaders for Nutrition, which is supported by the African Development Bank and the Big Win Philanthropy in partnership with the African Union Commission, has enlisted 14 heads of states and governments to address malnutrition. Thank you to my sister and friend, Jamie Cooper, the founder and chairperson of the Big Win Philanthropy, for your partnership on this agenda. Malnutrition and stunting of children pose huge development challenges for Africa. The continent is home to about 86 million children under the age of 5 years facing malnutrition. And as far as I'm concerned, God did not make stomachs to be empty. He made them to be filled. There's absolutely no justification for any kid in Africa to go to bed hungry. About 63 million children are stunted. Over 12 million of them are overweight, and 3 million are wasting, meaning that they have low weight for their height. It's been estimated that the continent loses 2 to 3% and up to 16% of its GDP due to malnutrition. To be clear, Your Excellencies, stunted children today will lead to stunted economies tomorrow. And so, if I have government ministers of finance here, this agenda is not about health, it's not an agenda about agriculture, it's not even an agenda about water. It's an agenda about economic development. If you have stunted children today, be sure you're going to have a stunted economy tomorrow. So pay attention, ministers of finance. It is therefore critical that strong political will be deployed by heads of state and governments to tackle malnutrition. The stunting is especially serious as it deprives children of their mental and cognitive developmental skills and abilities and capabilities. This over time leads to low life expectancy and lifetime income earning possibilities. Now, we must look at malnutrition, especially stunting, from the perspective of what I call gray matter infrastructure. Stunted children are not able to learn well. They fall behind in school and they underperform. While physical infrastructure, such as roads, rail, energy, or digital infrastructure, can be fixed when they are damaged, the gray matter infrastructure, which has to do with the neurons in your brain, the brains of the kids, once damaged by stunting, are very hard to repair or to recover. And that is why the African Development Bank and the Big Win Philanthropy brought together heads of state and government from 9 countries committed to accelerating stunting reduction, and we formed what's called the Presidential Dialogue Group. This group mobilizes the highest level of political commitment to expedite the reduction of stunting rates in heavily affected regions of their countries. Now, I know what quick action on stunting can do at a personal level. In 2016, I went on an official trip. Just watch your screen. I went on an official trip to Madagascar. And when I went on that trip, I went to a village in northern part of the country, the place called Bamangoki. Getting off the helicopter, I saw several children running towards the chopper. My eyes got fixated on the guy that you saw over there. He seemed to be quite curious, wondering about this chopper, much more than the other kids that I saw. I was so sure, you could see him, that he could not be more than 5 years old. And so when I bent down to ask his name, the voice that projected out to me was so strong. Clearly, this was not a 5-year-old kid. I was startled. When I asked for his age, he said he was 11 years old. This was severe malnutrition. I asked him what he wanted to be when he got older. He said he would like to be a medical doctor. Our fourth son's a medical doctor practicing in the United States. So I was touched by that. And I said to him, with your level of severe stunted, I don't see how you can become a medical doctor. So I picked up my phone and I called my wife, Grace, and I said, honey, look, I'm standing here as a little kid that wants to be like our son, wants to be a medical doctor, but he has severe stunting. There's no way he can become a medical doctor. Do I have your permission to adopt the kid? And my phone went, I said, honey, are you there? She said, yes, I'm there. You have my permission to proceed and adopt the kid. So we adopted Anthony when I was right there on the spot. We took him out of the village, put him in an environment with better access to food, water, sanitation, and education. Fast forward 7 years afterwards, Anthony is today about my height. And last month, Anthony was admitted to the medical school in Madagascar. I went to Madagascar, the minister is here, to see the president in Madagascar. He was with me. Maybe if you roll it a little bit, that's with him, with the president of Madagascar. That's a little kid out of Bamangoke that I'm talking about today, and I'm so proud of him. So there is hope for millions of kids that are stunted. There are so many like Anthony out there if you can act and act early and act decisively. And that's why we call you here today as elders, as leaders. We have a duty and an obligation and a responsibility to reduce malnutrition and stunting in Africa by 40% by 2025, just 1 year from now. But the situation is not very encouraging globally. Between 2010 and 2022, the global average growth rate reduction for stunting, 1.6%, was 4 times lower than the average level that was expected by that time, 6.08, needed to achieve the global target for stunting reduction by 2030. Your Excellencies, these targets in Africa and globally will not be met unless there is reinvigorated political leadership on stunting. There is a saying, I'm a Yoruba man from Nigeria. My tribe is called Yoruba tribe. We have a saying in my tribe that says, Agba ki n wa lọ́jà, ki ori ọmọ tuntun wọ̀, which means elders cannot be in the open market or public sphere, and the head of the baby on the back of the mother slumps, because babies are strapped on the back by their mothers. Your Excellencies, today we have you here to help us make sure that we solve this problem of malnutrition and stunting in Africa. You are the elders, and the heads of these babies must not slump again on their mothers' backs. Without strong political leadership, efforts to address malnutrition will be fragmented and will lack resources and commitment. With your support, we can prioritize nutrition as a national agenda, and funds can be allocated to a multi-sectoral national action plans. We're going to hear quite a lot about those today because you have to take a multi-sectoral approach to actually solving this problem. To show the commitment of the African Development Bank to this agenda, we increased our support for multi-sectoral nutrition action plan from $700 million in 2018 to $2.8 billion by 2023, a fourfold increase. Thank you. As heads of states and government, please help ensure that we end stunting in your respective countries. Your decisions today will help turn the fortunes of millions of children around, just like it was done for Anthony. The African Development Bank, the Big Win Philanthropy, and partners such as the Islamic Development Bank, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and several others that are here today, including FAO and others, are working in strategic partnerships. I am delighted that you all are here as partners because it's only together that we can fix this problem. Today, we and all the other development partners that are here are ready to listen to you and to agree with you on a roadmap, an accountability framework, and a financing plan to support your efforts to reduce malnutrition and stunting in your respective countries. Excellencies, we count on you. 86 million children who suffer from malnutrition count on you. I know that you will make their lives like that of Anthony, to give them new possibilities. And then you will hear 86 million thank yous all across our continent from kids that are now giving new possibilities to be the best that it can be for our continent. And what a really different Africa that is going to be. So thank you very much in advance, and may God bless you for what you're doing.